What's up, soul family? It's been another long week of the grind of surviving in the matrix. Uh, as a recovering heroin addict who has spent the majority of his life either numbed out or incarcerated, uh, living a life as a normie can be very challenging, difficult, exhausting, um, tiring. Oftentimes I feel like I'm right on the edge of just saying F it and doing something crazy. uh, you know, it has a lot more to do with living spiritually awake as a neurodivergent person, human being, than it does the disease of addiction. Um, Trying to live a so-called normal life doesn't feel right. Um, you feel disconnected from your purpose. You feel disconnected from your gifts. Um, you feel purposeless, and life is meaningless. Um, so it's very hard to continue to do so-called right in the minds of society and culture. Um, you know, and uh, oftentimes for people to scratch that so-called itch equals a relapse. And of course, we all know the end of that story. I have many, many, many of them. So, you know, the beat goes on, and I continue to go to work and pay bills and try to support my daughter and my family as much as possible, and continue to take baby steps towards, all the regular stuff. License, car, paying off fines, already successfully completed probation, um, building credit back, getting a bank account, normal everyday human stuff, can be milestones, mile markers, little successes in the process of recovery and healing. Uh, in the uh, act of doing all this, I'm also engaging in social media and also mainstream narratives that are happening, such as all this new stuff about hantavirus and Ebola, and news about aliens, the disclosure, the Epstein files, and on and on and on. All this insanity that's happening, at the same time. And also this movement, towards awakening, the great awakening, the great reset, the new world order that is trying to, start digital currency and put everybody in these 15-minute cities and on and on and on and on. It's like, how do you balance all that and maintain some sense of sanity and normalcy in an upside down world? And the way that I do that is through spiritual practice and really connecting with spirit and what's sacred. Um, and one of the ways that I do that is through one of my friends, Michael Wan, has a channel called Susquehanna Alchemy. And he has some really good practices that you can do uh, with towards connecting to um, basically what is real, um, which isn't much, you know. But that's one of the dozens and dozens of tools that I use. Is some of the practices that he recommends um, in his grounding consciousness course. I was a participant in the first course that he offered, Grounding Consciousness. Um, and a friend of mine posted about an intentional community that she has started up. It's also a retreat that you can participate in Ecuador. And the post that I saw, she had mentioned Access Consciousness, which immediately, rang bells for me because years ago I did an Access Consciousness course and am certified in reading bars. Now, full transparency, I haven't used it, in years. So I was going back and doing some kind of like a refresher on some posts about Access Consciousness. And a lot of it really resonates with me, and I think can definitely be useful towards um, grounding yourself and connecting with the sacred and staying sane in an insane world. And my last two videos I did was actually all about spiritual practices. And so, you know, um, that's just kind of where I am right now in my life and in my path. Um, and, you know, basically, I guess, yeah, like I said, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about when I do these videos, but this is kind of just like where I am today, I guess, just these are healing for me, they're uh, like an auditory vlog, like an auditory journal, uh, like a vlog, a healing vlog. You know what I'm saying? And to talk to the camera and do a video, you can watch it back and really, there's like a resonance there, um, which is really helpful. So I do recommend anybody, that is on a healing, recovery, spiritual journey or path to do these types of videos because the benefits from them have been pretty vast. Um, so yeah, I am doing the best I can, and I want to really emphasize the fact that nobody knows the truth. Okay. You're seeing all kinds of crazy stuff being put out there right now. And be very careful and try to use good discernment as far as what you're taking in. Because the majority of this is being used to manipulate you. to manipulate the masses. They are trying to build a narrative, and nobody knows where this is really going. A lot of people are speculating as far as, the agenda. And I think it's pretty obvious what the agenda is, and what their end game is. Um, and obviously, as people who are united in a cause of humanity through the principles of empathy and compassion and peace, we need to unite. Um, and how are we going to do that? How are we going to unite? We need to form um, basically communities of peace. Okay, we need to form intentional communities that are grounded and united in spiritual principles of justice and truth. And there are many, many people out there who are being guided by spirit and that energy. And these communities are going to be one of the very few safe places on the planet that you can be when the shit hits the fan, which is going to be very soon. Very, like, some big stuff is getting ready to happen. Um, and trust me on this, because I have a lot of prophetic dreams. I will I will tell some stories about a number of prophetic dreams that I've had that have come true. And what I'm seeing right now is this summer is going to be really profound as far as what's going to take place. It's going to be June and July is going to be huge. It's going to be like 9/11 type. Um, yeah, it's not going to be good. And you really need to be grounded in truth. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos, is to connect with people and let them know that everything's going to be all right. Because even though darkness is ruling the world, the light and love always overcomes the darkness. And all you have to be is a little flame, a little candle to light up a whole room. So join me in this intention, and let's light up the world with love. Peace out.